We have a choice sometime in this life, whether you believe that or not. We have a choice. I understand that the universe is built on duality. And I get that there's a place for a balance of one energy versus the other, positive versus negative. I get that. You know, we're talking about physics or something. I get that in the technical sense. But what I don't get is the aspect of looking at that in a way where, you know, where is there any good what how about saying it like this? What purpose would there be to have bad in you? Maybe in some instinctive moment, you're being attacked by some wild animal, some savage animal or something, and you pick up a spear or something or a gun and you protect yourself and you save your life, right? Maybe the negative energy, you know, is encompassed, around things involving, reaction. So maybe that's how that fits in. What you actually have to do or implement to save yourself or do something in life, to make something happen, whatever you're doing. But when we talk about that choice, when we talk about you having a choice, at what expense would you step on another person? Now, it's fair game to say if you want to live your life and go around being negative and being who you are, okay, great. But when you get socked in the mouth, when you get dealt with some kind of way, because there are justice empaths all around here, right? When you get dealt with, when you get put in jail, when you get the maximum sentence, by some empathic judge, or, when some cop, tackles you to the ground and, takes you in or something, right? When you're the criminal in some, vicious incident or something. Those are the things, that many people don't want to experience. You can say it's fair to say it's okay to say, oh, yeah, you can be the way you want to be. You can be an asshole. You can be a cutthroat. Until you cutthroat me. Y'all get what I'm saying? Until you cutthroat me. Doesn't matter, right? The average person is just not going to look into themselves on that level, challenge them, push themselves to a place where they grab this. Yeah, you get the basic concept of right and wrong, don't steal from others, and the things you heard coming up as a child. You get those things, right? Because you heard them. But do you really feel them? See, when you have an impulse to steal from someone that you may know or care about, even people you don't, there's something in you. There's that negative thing again. That aspect. See, if you're not balanced, then there's something wrong. So yeah, let's just say for the purpose of discussion, and I don't believe in assholes, by the way. I don't believe they should exist. But for the purpose of discussion, let's just say that it's okay to be an asshole halfway, right? Because you're balanced. That would say that there's a real problem when we're talking about anything other than such, right? So if you're extremely negative, you're completely negative. What does that say? Right? You're mostly bad. Because see, that's how we're going to define that word bad. We're going to be subjective about that word, but today, bad means the opposite of helping someone, the opposite of making someone feel comforted or something. It's making someone feel fear or anguish or grief, misery. We'll define those as, you know, the result of a bad action. So when someone says, I feel horrible today, they're feeling bad, right? So these shadowy aspects of yourselves, in some cases, are the greater part of you. You know? And that's what makes you bad for society in general. You know? You could be that business salesman guy. You could want to make a profit, but when you want to make too much of a profit, that's where you're going over that line, see? That's where you're not balanced at. And other people will suffer at your hands in any way that comes, right? I talked to you guys a little while ago about that situation and that little incident where that guy, tried to approach me or something, and, the violent nature of, and the guy wasn't necessarily violent, but the aggressive nature is what I'll say. Walking up to me in such a way that you'll be willing to fight. Uncivilized, low-grade behavior for no reason. Behind you being wrong. Because, see, your cognitives don't allow you to see where you erred. You're blocking up the damn street. People are inconvenienced, and when someone inquires about, hey, man, you're blocking the street, and they're trying to figure out when you're going to move or something. And so instead of you being courteous to other people, because you see that's where you have that problem. Instead of you being courteous, you decide to make war with everyone. See? That darker side of you is the better side. And you may be comfortable with that. But there's always balance. And so you'll be countered swiftly by the other side. Those people who are not necessarily trying to do what you're doing, who are not necessarily going in that freaking horrible direction that you're headed, or have headed, or heading. Because you're self-indulgent, you're self-centered. It's not about other people. It's not about, caring about someone else. Because, see, this is not about bleeding heart stuff. And I tell you folks all the time, we have these discussions. And I want you guys to understand, that this is not about a bleeding heart. When I say that, I'm not saying that I'm less empathetic or sympathetic to a person. But what I'm saying is there are some cut and dry things, right? I see too much of this stuff in the world every day. I see too many low-grade people in the world today. People who express their lowness in ways to hurt people, in ways to make people feel uncomfortable. Till you make them feel uncomfortable. Then it's a different ball game. Then you're the problem, right? I've had people inquire about why, I have such a concern about the idiots of the world. I don't really care about the idiots. And as a matter of fact, if I didn't have to see any of these idiots, it wouldn't matter to me. It wouldn't be a problem at all. The rocket ship theory I talk about all the time, that grand rocket ship. Ship your ass out in space. And I don't think space wants you. Because see, out in space, they're probably much smarter than we are, right? They got their thing together a little bit better. Because we're fucked up down here. Truth. Right? And you people know it. A lot of you people are listening to this right now. You want to get into your feelings about how, you think it's okay to be an asshole, or it's okay to, because you felt this way, someone else should have to feel a certain way. There are laws in the universe, Well, there's some laws here, What goes up must come down, right? The 360 thing. So when you people lavish in, the pain of another person, right? And in many cases, I see this all the time. I see this in many freaking ways. The stupidness of humankind. I call it, it's coined the human condition, you know, this thing that we call life as humans. You know, we get it. Many of us don't get it. That's the problem. Not about being joyous all the time. Well, you know what? It is about that. It is about being joyous, because being joyous is not necessarily running around singing or something, but being joyous is being happy with life, because you're not in fear. You're not having to deal with something, right? A lot of these things don't have to happen, but they do, right? Because people allow these things to happen. They fail to take action. They're on the sidelines, you know. It's not okay to be an asshole, you know. Not in my world anyway. And I'm going to keep talking to you folks, as many nights as possible, as many days as possible, until you understand. Why something has to be done. Because you're complaining about what you're facing every day, without having a realization, that you're enabling what you're facing every day. Y'all marinate on that for a minute. Just think about that, And I must say, I like talking to you guys on this trail because, it's cold out here, and the briskness of the air and everything, and just, gotta hustle a little bit. Get to the car. But when I walk, I think about a lot of this stuff. Why am I talking about this stuff? And many people say, oh, because these people are boneheads in some way. They're embracing the negative actions and stupid, callous natures of other folks and are not being concerned. But as soon as that happens to them, they want your greatest sympathies, right? They want your assistance. Just troubled about this. I just don't get it. All of these people in the world I see all of the time, not necessarily in violent ways, but just in social ways, like I said, because those ways, those situations and the dynamics of those things create the violence, right? You're saying the wrong thing, and then a fight breaks out, and then gunshots, and then all of the things that happen that we're looking at on the evening news that make us want to not, participate in active society, to make us want to not, travel or whatever we're going to do because of some person with some dysfunctions. You're at war with yourself on the inside, and you're struggling, and you're just trying to bring that mayhem to us. We don't need it. I love bad behavior. But I would really love to appreciate having, or to have, how about that? I'll say it like this. I would like to have a better understanding of the people around me, solely for the purpose of doing something about the people who don't need to be around us, right? Or isolating ourselves or something, or ostracizing those people. Put them on an island or something, right? Just think about what I'm saying, y'all. You guys have family members, right? You have people in your lives. You have people you love. For those of you who can actually love, I'm not talking to the sociopaths and narcissists and the people who are incapable of these things. Obviously, the people who are going to help me are going to be people like me, right? Obviously. So support this video, guys. Hit that like. Make sure you share it. And leave a comment below if necessary, right? If you feel the need to, right? Good night.